We're back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome once again to the G Spot, the place where you find great support, purpose, opportunity, and transformation. I'm your host, Dr. G. Alpha Palmer, and I want to just say thank you for coming back to spend this time with us once again. Well, I want to continue where I left off. I want to again recognize um, Dr. Frederick K.C. Price, who transitioned yesterday. Um, and he's the pastor of the Crenshaw Christian Center in Los Angeles, California. I believe it is. But I'm glad that he was with us for the time that he was, because he was a great example in a lot of ways of what manhood is, what faith is. Uh, just a tremendous, tremendous man that I followed for decades. For decades, I followed Dr. Frederick K.C. Price. And the idea of people transitioning and leaving us um, is a reality. But the more important thing is, what are you doing with it? Are we taking advantage of it? Are we really taking advantage of it? And for many of us, we're not. We're not taking advantage of it. I'm hoping that you can hear me, um, because I got the microphone as close as I think it's going to get. I don't think it's going to get much closer than that. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's get to it, and that is biblical masculinity part 2. Now, for some of you, more than anything, what I did in our last broadcast, I didn't so much talk about biblical masculinity as I did scientific. Um, and so I want to transition in a little bit and talk a little bit about the biblical piece, and that is to use the story of Adam and Eve as the backdrop for how we as humans come into the earth. Now, when we look at Adam and Eve, first Adam came. Adam was was created. Okay, let us make. First Adam, let us make man in our own image and after our likeness, and let them have dominion. So there was the whole idea of making. The idea of making is to create out of nothing. So um, Adam came as a result of being created out. The idea is and so the idea of Adam came about by the creator mentality. The idea, the idea. There was nothing there until the idea came. So you are an idea. All of us are an idea of the universe. Nobody here is by accident. You have an assignment, you have a design, and you have a mission. I like to call it DMA, like DNA, but we have a DMA. You have a design, a mission, and an assignment. So did Adam. So when Adam was created first from the idea of the creator. And once the idea came, the creator went about formulating and forming Adam. He formed him out of the dust of the earth. Now that's an important notion for us to understand, that we come from dust. The body came from dust. From dust thou came, and to dust thou shalt return. We're going to return to this physical body, will return. But the idea that we are returns back to its original source. Did you hear what I just said? The body goes to dust, back from where it came from. But the idea of you, or the spirit of you, or the real essence of you returns back to the source. from which we came. Death has lost its sting. Grave has no power. You're going back home when you leave here. Each and every one of us. Here's the problem. A lot of us want to see people go to hell because of that, what they've done and how they've hurt us and things that they've said to us, and we've been injured. And so we think that their come up is that they get something back, and that is that they go to hell because no matter, they hurt us, they harmed us, and as a result of that, they should be punished. We want them to be punished, but that's not how the universe works. The universe works on a higher level. You don't fix a problem on the same level that it's created. You have to supersede that level and move to a higher level. So we ought to move from this payback thing to moving to a level where we understand that the creation or the universe has bigger plans, bigger ideas. The universe's thoughts are not our thoughts. They're not. So we have to think higher. The ideas are higher. Okay. Now, okay, so Adam and Eve, Adam was created, formed. Once he was formed, then he was given he was placed in a particular location, and it's very important. It says that he was placed eastward in Eden. That's important. It's important to understand that he was placed eastward in Eden because that's going to play a very important role in our development. And from it, we're going to get freed from a lot of religious dogma. Okay, we're going to get freed from a lot of religious dogma. Now, some people they don't want to use the biblical narrative. They think that the biblical narrative is false. They think it's written by a white man. Europeans. Well, if that was the case, wouldn't they have made those the places and the characters from some of those European countries? If it was written by them, it seemed like they would have made it look and represent them instead of people of a darker hue. Not that that's important, because the whole idea is humanity, regardless of the color of the skin. But I understand wanting to have a place in an identity. I get it, but we've got to put it in its proper place as well. Because I'm a proud Black man, but at the same token, I'm more happy at being a human. But yes, I enjoy my hair, my nose, my lips. I enjoy it because those are the things that distinguish me as an individual. Right? You're an individual. My gender distinguishes me, and it all speaks to my design. You have a specific design. That design is not a mistake. Adam had a specific design. He was not a mistake. Eve had a specific design. We're going to talk about Eve a little later because we're talking about biblical masculinity here. Adam was placed in the garden, and he was placed eastward in Eden. The garden was placed at a specific place. It's important to understand why the garden was placed eastward in Eden. We'll talk about that again as we move forward. So Adam was placed in a garden, and this garden is likened to what our children, or our boys and girls are placed in as they develop. Understand, Adam and Eve were not born physically as infants. They were not. They were not born as infants. But again, understand, even though physically they weren't, because we understand that a boy and a girl is about their development. They were boys and girls in the garden of Eden. Just like a child is in the womb is a garden where they develop and they grow, right? When a woman is pregnant, that is Eden. That is the Garden of Eden. In the original Hebrew, the word the garden actually means enclosure. It means it was a safety net. It was a place that was used to keep Adam and Eve safe while they developed mentally, emotionally, right? And that's what's important. Development is important. So they were in a garden, in an enclosure, just like our children are. And they were taught. Adam was taught because we're told that Adam would name every creature. Why was it important for him to name? Because he had to develop intellectually. He had to develop intellectually. So as we grow from infancy and we become babies and we become toddlers, right? You remember the terrible twos? In the terrible twos, we become very disagreeable, very argumentative. Okay. And that happened in the garden. Adam became very disagreeable, very self-centered, very, very I-centered, like a 2-year-old is. Mine, mine, mine. It's all about me, right? I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere. So Adam, and like so many, if you put Adam and the development of a child on the same level, you can see the equalness, or you can see the balance or the equilibrium between the two, comparing the two. Adam was in a garden, an enclosure where he would name things. Say, "Well, Adam, what is that?" And whatever Adam said it is, that's what it was. He had to learn. So do our children. As our boys grow, they have to learn. Where did they learn? They learned in the garden. From who did they learn? They learned from their father. They learned from their father. It's important that the father is involved in the son's life, because it's from the father that the son gets instruction. If the father is not in the life of the son will malfunction. Just like any product that is not properly used, any any product that is not properly equipped, it will malfunction. And that's what we're suffering today. We're suffering in masculinity because fathers are not available, not readily available, not in the home. Whether it's by design, whether it's by plot, whatever we want to say it is, the bottom line is men are not in the home. And as a result of men not being in the home, our sons are malfunctioning. Our sons, I'll say it again, our sons are malfunctioning. So what do we do? What do we do? There is some things that can be done, and we're going to get into them as we go along. But I want you to see this developmental process that we go through, and it's going to begin to speak to relationship and how and why relationships go the way that they do. As we talk about masculinity, it's important that we understand what masculinity is. Masculinity is an essence. It is not a gender. It is an essence. It is a mentality. It is a way of being. And it is connected to, inseparate from, cannot be compared outside of the design of a boy. It is connected. When you were born a boy, masculinity came with you. When you were born, masculinity came with you. A boy is masculine. He has to be, because it's a part of his equipment. The masculinity goes with the design, a part of design. And your physical manifestation, your physical design is a type and shadow of the very essence of your masculinity. Because masculinity, a characteristic of masculinity is that it penetrates, it initiates, right? If you think of it from a physiological standpoint, the penis is used to penetrate. It is used to generate seed. That's what masculinity does. It initiates, it plants seed. Part of the seed that it does plant is instruction. The man has to be present to give the boy instruction. He plants in the boy. Now we can say, okay, well, um, if there's no male in there are no men in the boy's life, then we can there needs to be, yes, there does. There needs to be, but there's nothing like the father, the uncle, the coach, and I've had all those things because my father was in the home for a while and then out, but I still had a relationship with him and even lived with him. So it was one of those kind of situations where I was still able to connect with my father and he was able to sow into me. We had a lot of long talks, you know? And so it's important that even if the relationship ends between the mother and the father, it's important that the mother understand if she has the children. It's important that she understands that she doesn't get in the way and that she promotes the relationship between that father and that son, because if not, it's not about the father, it's about that son. You don't want your son to malfunction, and he will malfunction without the leadership, guidance, and instruction of his father. So it's important from a biblical standpoint. It's important from a mental standpoint. It's important from a spiritual standpoint. And it's important from a physiological standpoint. No one's going to teach a son like the father. An uncle's not, because he's not your seed. Nothing's the only ones that's going to care about that seed the most is going to be the father and the mother, because it's his seed and she carried that seed. It's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. So we're gonna stop right there because I want you to understand the importance of that relationship between the father and the son. And I'm looking forward to you. I'm hoping you're getting something out of it. I hope that you would like and share these videos. I'm new at doing this. Um, I know that it's time for me to do this. I've been preparing for it for many a years, and 2021 is the year of activation. So there's going to be a lot. You're going to see me. You're going to see me, and I'm hoping that you would help me to share the message. It's not a religious message. It's a creation message. It's one about us being people, humans. So, and I'm not going to, it's time out for the trying to talk above people's heads. We can do that easily, but you don't meet people where they are that way. So I want to meet you where you are. I want you to I want to be able to exchange with you. That's what we're here to do. So I want to hear from you, please. And even if you don't agree, it's fine. I want to hear from you. So we're going to continue on, and I'm going to bid you adieu, and ask you to come back, um, remembering this, that you are who you are because we need you. Peace.